Look at your life for a moment. Not the polished version you post online, not the polite version you show to your friends, but the unfiltered truth. The nights you lie awake replaying conversations. The way you feel oddly disconnected in a room full of people. The quiet thought, maybe even a fear, that no one truly understands you. If this resonates with you, there's a reason. And it's not because you're broken. It's because the more you see, the harder it becomes to belong. Every person has a point in life where the curtain gets pulled back. It can happen slowly, over years, or it can hit you in one single, devastating moment. You see the world for what it really is. Not just the smiles and handshakes, but the politics, the posturing, the quiet cruelty people hide under manners. Plato wrote in the allegory of the cave about prisoners chained in darkness, watching shadows on the wall, believing them to be reality. When one prisoner escapes and sees the sun, he can never see the shadows the same way again. He's not just enlightened, he's alienated. That's what awareness does. It frees you, but it also isolates you. The German philosopher Schopenhauer once said, "The more unintelligent a man is, the less mysterious existence seems to him." What he meant is simple. The more you notice, the less you can ignore. You see the lies people tell themselves to survive. You hear the rehearsed small talk. You feel the subtle power plays in conversations. And slowly, your appetite for superficial connection fades. It's not arrogance, it's exhaustion. History shows us something deeply uncomfortable. Good people can become dangerous when they stop questioning themselves. Bonhoeffer, who resisted Nazi Germany, said that the greatest threat to humanity is not evil itself, but the unthinking follower. We like to think monsters are born evil, but many were just ordinary people who stopped reflecting on their actions. That's why true intelligence isn't just about knowing. It's about relentlessly confronting your own shadow. Carl Jung called this shadow work, the painful process of facing the parts of yourself you'd rather hide. Your envy, your vanity, your capacity for cruelty. If you skip this, awareness becomes arrogance. And arrogance turns good people into something unrecognizable. We're told intelligence is a gift, but Schopenhauer warned it can also be a curse. Because the intelligent person sees not only what is, but what could be, and how far we are from it. They see the gap between the values people claim and the way they actually behave. Nietzsche wrote, "He who has a reason to live can bear almost any how." But what if you lose the why? What if you've outgrown the dreams that once kept you moving, and now you see the game of life without the illusion? This is why so many intelligent people appear detached. They aren't always cynical. They're tired of pretending. We live in an age of instant outrage and instant validation. Algorithms feed us what we already believe. Public opinion is shaped less by reason and more by emotional manipulation. Critical thinking, the ability to pause, analyze, and question, is disappearing. And when fewer people think for themselves, collective stupidity rises. It's not that humans are getting less intelligent. It's that the environment rewards conformity over courage. In ancient Athens, questioning the crowd was dangerous, but it was also revered. Today, questioning the crowd just gets you unfollowed, reported, or canceled. Nietzsche once said, "You have your way. I have my way. As for the right way, it does not exist." When you deeply understand this, you stop arguing to win. You realize most debates aren't about truth, they're about ego. When someone's identity is tied to their beliefs, challenging those beliefs feels like attacking their existence. The wise person knows. The goal is not to defeat someone in an argument, but to understand why they believe what they do. Why do you speak the way you do? Not just your accent or vocabulary, but the tone you choose in different situations. Language is a mirror of identity, but it's also a mask. You shift your words to fit the audience, not because you're fake, but because you're human. Every society has acceptable ways of speaking. Break them, and you're seen as strange, arrogant, or threatening. But here's the paradox. The more authentic your speech becomes, the more it alienates those who prefer the comfort of conformity. Awareness doesn't have to end in cynicism. The point is not to withdraw from the world in disgust, but to move through it with clarity, to love without illusions, to connect without pretending. The man or woman who figures life out doesn't necessarily have all the answers. They just stop asking the wrong questions. They no longer chase the approval of the crowd. They no longer fear the silence of solitude. So here's the question I'll leave you with. If you could choose between belonging to the crowd or walking alone with your integrity, which would you pick? Because deep down, you already know the answer. You felt it in moments where the world wanted you to nod and agree, but something inside you whispered no. That whisper is your compass. Ignore it, and you'll lose yourself. Follow it, and you may lose the crowd, but you'll find something far more valuable: yourself.